Hi guys, and welcome back to Sim Racing Bible for another video. Today I'm excited to share with you my 5 best sounding cars for Automobilista 2. There's been some major improvements in the sound department over the last few updates, and some of the cars now are sounding really good. But can we just whittle it down to 5 best sounding cars? Let's go find out. So here we go then, car number 1, and it is this, the Super V8, and of course we had to come to Bathurst to test this particular car. Now the Super V8 has undergone some serious upgrades over the last few releases, and is now in the position where it's drivable again and very, very good to drive as well. But of course this is about the sound, and in this particular car we have this wonderful V8. As we hit the limiter over the crest and the mountain straight, then hard on the brakes as we start our ascent up the hill. But what I love about the sound in this particular car is it's so raw, it's so edgy. You got that raspy V8, which revs really high and it just sounds just like the real thing. Whoa, big slide out of the cutting there. But also, when you off throttle, you have these beautiful pops and bangs from the exhaust, and also the transmission, which just chatters away. Adds to a really immersive overall audio experience, and it's just so good. Up over the top of the mountain here, and then we head down towards Brook Skyline, clipping down through the gears, appreciating the glory of this V8 engine. Feed the power on gently as we head back down the hill, weave our way through the concrete barriers and into the elbow, and now we get the opportunity to absolutely unleash this V8. Now just listen to this. Absolutely fantastic. I really love the sound of this car. Heading down to the fearsome chase. Let's try and get it through here in one piece. Flat out and then hard on the brakes. Beautiful sounds on the downshifts. And again, feeding the power in. But what I also love about the sounds of this car is it's very seamless. You have no obvious looping going on and no repetitive sounds, so it just sounds like one pure engine sound, and it's really well done. Down to turn 1 again. Difficult corner to get right. Hard to get the power down on the exit. But when you have such a great sound such as this, it really makes the whole experience of driving the car that much better. So obviously we're looking at the force feedback and we're feeling the car moving around underneath us, but when you've got the sounds to match, it really does take you away to a whole new place. And it adds to an overall really enjoyable experience. Just love the noises when you hit on the brakes. You can hear the overrun. Again, sliding a little bit over the crests in the road. Saved it. Just about. Gotta be on your toes driving this car. Up and on the curb, and once again try and survive the downhill section. It's just, you can get the sense that it really is a fire-breathing dragon, this thing. It's just that chatter on the transmission is so cool. And then once again, you just take in the amazing noise. You almost just feel like you are there driving a V8 supercar around Bathurst. It's so immersive. Into the chase, get it fired through here. Hook up the power under the bridge and down to the last corner for the final time. Ooh, just about get it stopped, and then up and over the line. What a great car. So, what's car number 2? Let's go find out. So here we go with car number 2 in our collection of 5 best sounding cars for Automobilista 2. And I'm pretty sure you know which one this is already. It is, of course, the Bmw M1 Pro Car. It is not possible to have a car sounds video without including one of these, and for good reason, because the straight six in this beautiful BMW is one of the finest sounding engines ever created. And we're here at Hockenheim, 1970s version, so we can appreciate the beautiful noise of this BMW down the long straights into the first of the two chicanes on this version. Flicking it through there, left and right, and a big handful of oversteer on the exit as we again fire up through the gears. It just sounds so good. And you get the extra added bonus of having an H-pattern gearbox in this car as well, so every gear change just sounds even better because you're physically doing something to move those gears around, and you get that bit of a gap between gears and then that drop in revs before it engages into the next gear. And it's brilliant. I mean, driving through the trees here, you can just imagine the sound of these things reverberating through the forest as you're a spectator, and I'm sure it must sound absolutely incredible. I wish I could have seen these cars in period as a full grid of them howling around the circuits of the day. It must have been an amazing spectacle to see and listen to. But it's just one of those car sounds which is just really emotive. It stirs a lot of emotions down towards the stadium section. And this car is one that will just put a smile on your face every single time you drive it, not just because of the sounds, but also the way it handles, because it really is so much fun. And you're wrestling it around these corners. Ooh, bit of a slide into the final two corners here, but because it's such a beautifully balanced car, you can just apply a bit of opposite lock and some throttle and drive right through it all the time, listening to that beautiful engine note. Down towards turn one again. I'm going to be quiet on the exit here, so just listen to this. It's just perfection, isn't it? It's just so good. It really is an amazing sound. Hard on the rev limiter on these long straights. Back on the brakes again for the chicane. Flipping the throttle a little bit, bit of a on the apex there, but we got away with it. It's just so good. I love it. You can just keep turning laps driving this car, just for the symphony of audio. Down through the sweeping curve at the end of the tail end of the circuit, and then back down towards the stadium section again. Really is beautiful, and again there's some good meshing of sounds together, so it's seamless in all its sounds. There's no obvious looping, which is something that can really affect the overall immersion factor, as if you hear the same sounds looping again, or if there's a gap in the sounds which doesn't quite tie up properly. But there's no such thing on the M1 Pro Car. It just sounds seamless and fluid the whole way through. It's one of those things, when you get a car that sounds as good as this, you appreciate the downshift just as much as the acceleration and going up through the gears and revving it all the way up to the red line. Because every little bit of it just sounds incredible. Into the final corner once more. Play with the throttle, trying to get the car out of here. Absolutely fantastic. Right, I'll try and tear myself away, and we'll move on to car number 3. So, car number 3, and we're back in the land of the V8s, because this is the Salvo Mercedes Group C car. And we're at Donington Park, which is where they raced in period. Hasn't changed much since then. But this car, as we know, is an absolute animal. And what I love about the sounds of this car is it really does encapsulate its character. It's obviously it's a V8, so you get that beautiful low rumble, but it's also a twin turbo V8. So you also get the sounds of the turbo spooling up and then releasing as you have that huge punch in the rear down the straights. And to go along with that, you have all the transmission noise you could possibly want as you go up through the gears, and that whine just builds and builds, knowing that you're going an awful lot quicker. And then there's that chatter on the overrun as you get on the brakes, and of course the accompanying pops and bangs as all that unburnt fuel gets dumped into the exhaust pipes, those hot exhausts which exit on the side of the car. But it really does just give a wonderful experience driving this thing. Let's listen to this. Absolutely stunning. Down to red gate before you know it, because this thing is just so quick in a straight line. And then you hold your breath as you come down towards the crane of curves. Hard on the brakes with the old hairpin. Getting it hooked up and then just firing out the other side. All the while being treated to a wonderful V8 noise. Ooh, bit of a lock up into McLean's. Who survived it. But the sounds are really just so immersive, and it makes you just feel like you're in the very tight cockpit of this Group C car. Trying to wrestle it around through the corners and just enjoying every moment of it. It really is a fantastic sounding car. And a real challenge to drive fast as well, as you can tell. Too late into the Melbourne loop. But you don't mind so much when you get back on the power and just listen to that thing accelerate up the hill. Absolutely amazing. Right, on to the next. What's car number 4? It's single-seater time for car number 4, and we're in this, the Bmw V10 Gen 2. And as the name suggests, this is of course a V10 engine, no surprises there. But what it is though, is simply incredible. Listen to this. It is absolutely fantastic, and to many people this is what modern day F1 cars should still sound like. Because this high-revving V10 engine just sends absolute shivers down your spine. We're here at Interlagos, and I can just imagine this natural amphitheatre, the sound just reverberating around and sounding incredible. And again, you get that beautiful depth of sound all the way through the rev range. And what you also get with this car is the traction control kicking in as well. You just about hear it on the slow corners. This car is also a bit of a handful to keep it on the straight line. But you don't mind so much when you can just listen to it like that. I remember hearing cars like this testing at Silverstone. You can hear them a mile away, and they're just getting closer and closer until they blast past you and split your eardrums open. It really was an incredible experience. Here running the groove tyres, of course, that's why we haven't got quite as much grip as perhaps we could do if running a full slick. But on the downshifts you get all the popping, the aggressive sounds as you'd expect with these highly tuned engines and gearboxes. And when you just keep a constant throttle, you just have that really nice sound. Just waiting to unleash into the next straight. Not too quickly though, otherwise you will swap ends. Feed the power in gently. Gently. It's a very visceral experience driving this thing. Oh my word, what a noise. It really does just go right through you, but in a good way. So good. Right, one final car for our list. What could it possibly be? It is probably one of the best sounding modern GT cars ever made. Of course, it is this, the Porsche 911 Rsr Gta, a car which sounds just as good on the downshifts as it does going up through the gears. Because this flat six really does sing. Into the international horseshoe, a little bit deep, but we're out of it the other side. But just listen to this. On the limit, flat out through the kink there, and again down through the gearbox into the second of the hairpins. But this car, honestly, is just one of those things which you cannot mistake when you hear it. Something about Porsche engines in general works with the flat sixes, but this really high revving version of the 911 engine is just in a different league compared to all the others in terms of sounds and just the way it makes you feel when you hear it. Coming down to the bus stop chicane here, just listen to this through here as we get on the bumps and the curbs. I mean, listen to that, it's the little hop as you go airborne over that curve. It's just so good. Absolutely fantastic. Up on the banking, holding it flat. And again, there's a really good smoothness between all the different sounds. You have the transmission whine which builds and builds as you go up through the revs, and then the usual chattering away on the downshifting. But it just feeds back in again so smoothly into the acceleration phase that it just gives that all-round experience of just an amazing sounding car. I mean, it sounds good on board, but it also sounds amazing from the external cameras as well. It's just absolutely stunning. And again, it's one of those cars which you can just keep on driving and driving and never really get bored of it. The sound's always there just to give you that tingle up your spine. Acceleration just, yeah, you just never tire of it. Always going up through the gears and just wanting the straight to be that little bit longer so you can appreciate the sound of this thing even more. But once again, down through the bus stop, let's listen again for the beautiful sounds of the RSR. It's simply stunning. I'm sure you'll all agree that those 5 cars sound incredible, but there's more than just 5 cars that sound amazing in AMS2, so let me know your favourites in the comments below. Plus, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.